Okay, let me. Yeah, it is already on. Just 2 minutes. I'll connect to my computer.
I think someone should post in the group that we are starting. Let me do it while we are waiting.
Unmuted. Okay, sorry. What is conscious without the senses is I. I in the senses. We smell and taste and hear and see and feel. We live in the senses, act with the senses, think through the senses, and often identify ourselves with the senses. But seldom or never do we question the origin of our senses, nor how the occupant inhabits them. We suffer and enjoy, strive and slave to feed and gratify the senses. We think and plan and work for the attainment of our ambitions without realizing that these ambitions are all connected with the senses and that we are their servants. We create ideals which are based on sensuous perceptions. The ideals become idols and we idolaters. We are the idolaters. Our religion
No,
is
the
a
ideals. See, okay, yes. We create ideals,
ideals.
yes. Right.
Ideals become idols and we idolaters. Our religion is a religion of the senses. The senses our gods. We create or select our deity according to the dictates of our senses. We endow it with the attributes of sense and worship devoutly through the avenues of our senses. We are educated and cultured according to our capacity and to the enlightenment of the age we live in. But our culture and education is for the purpose of paying tribute and homage to our senses in an artistic and aesthetic manner and according to scientific methods. Our science is a science of the senses. We try to show that ideas are only sensuous forms and that numbers are figures invented for the convenience of counting and to be used for obtaining the comforts and enjoyments of the senses in the age in which we live.
So,
Yeah.
what he is saying is our entire vocabulary and the connections in the vocabulary, the signs in the vocabulary, our existence, everything is
We created
for the
according to our
purpose. Correct. Yes. Right. So, let's go further.
left to the senses, we should be circumscribed and shut in by the world of our senses. We should feed, act, live, and die like animals in the world of our senses. But there is the I, capital I, who is the dweller in the senses, on whom the senses depend for their keenness of sensation. And though the senses are his present masters, there will be a day when the I, capital I, will awake from his stupor and will arise and throw off the chains of the senses. He will end his term of slavery and claim his divine rights. By the light which he radiates, he will dispel the powers of darkness and dissipate the glamour of the senses which had blinded and lulled him into forgetfulness of his divine origin. So one day he will awake and he will recognize all these days he was blinded by the
That
senses.
means he will go beyond the senses, in other words.
He will quite subdue, discipline, and develop the senses into superior faculties, and they will become his willing. Let's go down.
Yeah.
Um,
They will become his willing servants.
will become his willing servants.
See,
Then
look
the
at
eye,
the transformation. Just look at the
Yeah.
transformations.
and
See,
he will quite
you are
do a
starting, no, your journey is starting such that the senses are controlling you, the senses
Yeah.
are helping you perceive, but as you lead that, that means there is something that is growing. There is some entity hidden within you, which is growing, which is moving upwards, which is progressing. And that will bring you to a state when the senses become your servants rather than the other way around. What a construction, really. Right?
Yes. So now, yeah, he will quite subdue, discipline, and develop the senses into superior faculties, and they will become his willing servants the other way. Then the eye and the capital I will, as the divine king, reign with justice, love, and wisdom over the universe of the senses. See, this is what even in one of the Upanishads, Kathopanishad, and also Bhagavad Gita, he says that in one of the slokas. Yeah.
Correct.
I will then know of the realm within and beyond the senses, which is the divine source of all things. So when he realized and then when they become the servants of the capital, the I, then the I will then know of the realm within and beyond the senses, which is the divine source of all things, and will be the partaker of the ineffable presence, that is the one reality in all things. That is, realizing that oneness. But we, while blinded by our senses, are unable to perceive. Until that time,
Correct.
as long as we under the control of senses, we cannot perceive this reality.
Right.
In the beginning of the universe, the one homogeneous substance differentiates, and through its one attribute, duality, manifests as spirit and matter. Spirit matter. From spirit matter are produced all forces. So basically, in the
beginning, let me just read it again. In the beginning of the universe, the one homogeneous substance differentiates, and through its one attribute, which is duality, manifests as spirit matter. So when originally it was one substance, it differentiates to become spirit matter.
Yes. Yeah. From as spirit matter are produced all forces. Thus,
so all the forces come out of that spirit matter. What are those? We will see.
Okay. Thus comes into existence a universe without form. In the course of involution, the forces produce the elementals as their vehicles. So in the course of involution, okay, the forces produce
all these. He is spiritually explaining the Big Bang.
Big Bang theory, yes, correct. So from that nothingness, the duality of spirit matter comes, and from that, eventually all these elementals they come.
Forces come, and these forces traverse the universe by means of the vehicles.
Yes. produce the elements as their vehicles. Each force has its corresponding vehicle. This vehicle or element is the grosser expression of the force. It is the reverse side of its force, just as spirit matter and matter spirit are the opposite poles of that which was the substance. All forces, elements are not manifesting at once in the beginning, but manifest only as and in the degree in which they produce the conditions for the manifestation. So he is saying in the beginning, they do not produce all their forces at one time. In the beginning, but manifest only as and in the degree in which they produce the conditions for manifestation. There are 7 forces with their corresponding vehicles. With their corresponding vehicles, 7 elements. So basically, in the beginning, all these 7 forces produce 7 elements.
Yesterday I was talking to someone. I was saying we have 4 elements. He says, no, we have 7. And he said, Sapta Dhatu.
Yes. Yes.
Right, yeah.
These constitute a universe in its involution and its evolution. The zodiac shows this involution and evolution by its 7 signs from Cancer by way of Libra to Capricorn. In the beginning of the first period, the round of that is one circle of manifestation, but one force expresses itself and through its particular element. This element later serves as a means for the expression of the second force, also with its second element. In each period round, an additional force and element manifest. Our present universe has passed through 3 such great periods and is now in its 4th. Our bodies are the result
This
of
is the cycle of evolution, yugas. Satya Yuga.
I see. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Yeah.
Our present, yeah.
Our present universe has passed through 3 such great periods and is now in its 4th. Our bodies are the result of the involution of the forces and their elements which are manifested and are becoming manifest. In the 4th period.
So that is what our body is. Each one's body, depending upon its state, right? So our bodies are the result of the involution of the forces
and
the associated elements which are manifested and are becoming manifest. That means that is the change that is going on.
So what does he mean? Our bodies are the result of involution means. So at the end of the last period, it goes through the change of involution?
No. Our bodies are the involution. As these yugas are moving, we are also moving with them, right?
Yeah.
That is the point he's making.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So the bodies are the result of the involution, right, Chandra garu?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see, because the last period was the Dwapara Yuga.
No. See, earlier it was involution. In the 4th period is the turning point from involution to evolution. Okay, that is the 4th one.
Yeah, that is the Kali Yuga, according to us.
Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, got it. So all those changes they're expressing. So that is the period is turning point from involution into evolution. Yeah. In the 4th period is the turning point from involution to evolution. By the involution of the elements, bodies are produced which contact the elements and through which the elements operate. The elements are involuted into bodies and become the senses of the organized body. Okay. See, this is how the elements are involuted into the bodies. They go inside.
And then they start progressing. Yeah.
and then they become the senses of the organized body. Our senses are the drawing together and blending of the elements into one body. Each sense is connected with a particular part of the body, which part is its organ and the particular center through which the sense acts on its corresponding element and through which the element reacts on the sense. Thus have been involved the elements of fire, air, water, and earth. So this is how they are all operated. And the fifth is now being evolved as the ether. The sixth and seventh senses are now being and still are to be evolved through their corresponding organs and centers in the body. So that means they are not yet operating, the sixth and
No,
seventh.
they are not yet. Yeah, they are not yet.
The forces operating through the elements of fire, air, water, earth, and ether are light, electricity, the water force, which has yet to no scientific name, magnetism, and sound. The forces operating through the elements of fire, air, water, earth, and ether are light, electricity, the water force, which has yet no scientific name, and magnetism and sound. The corresponding senses are sight, which is fire, hearing air, tasting water, smelling earth, and touch or feeling ether. The organs of these elements in the head are the eye, ear, tongue, nose, skin, or lips.
Okay.
He said lips instead of mouth. Okay, these elements, which their forces are entities, they are not chaotic, no things are. What is this? These elements with their forces are entities. They are not chaotic, no things. They are
No
brought
things
together.
is ultimately nothings. They are not to be ignored. They are not chaotic nothings.
Okay, okay, got it. They are not chaotic or nothing. They are brought together and unite to produce the body of man with its senses. Nearly every animal form is endowed with 5 senses, but none in the same degree as man. The senses in the animal are governed and controlled by their corresponding elements, but in man, the eye offers resistance to the entire control by the elements. But in man, the eye offers resistance to the entire control by the elements.
Okay. Yeah, continue.
Okay.
The senses in the animal, yeah.
The senses in the animal appear to be keener than those of man. This is because the elements meet no opposition when acting on the animal, and therefore the animal is guided more truly by the elements. Because in humans we have opposition, but in animals there is no opposition. The senses of the animal are simply conscious of their respective elements, but the eye in man questions the action of his senses as he attempts to relate them to himself, and so apparent confusion ensues. The less resistance the eye offers to the senses in which it finds itself, the more truly will the elements guide the senses. But if the elements guide the man entirely through his senses, he is less intelligent and less responsible. So, as long as the senses control the man, he is less intelligent and less responsible. The closer to nature man lives, the more readily will he respond to and be guided by nature through his senses. Wow. The closer to nature a man lives, the more readily will he respond to and he be guided by nature through his senses. Although primitive man can see and hear farther and his smell and taste is keener among natural lines, yet he cannot distinguish between colors and shades of color, which the artist sees and appreciates at a glance, nor can he distinguish the difference in tones and harmonies which the musician knows, nor has he the keenness of taste.
Of taste. Yeah.
Yeah, the keenness of taste which the epicure has cultivated or the expert tester of teas developed. Nor is he able to detect the differences and quantities of odor which one can who has disciplined his sense of smell. That means
So what
even
he's
he
saying is the most superior is the sense of smell.
smell. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Ratna, what is the question?
Living close to the nature and how do we do that? The closer to nature man
See,
lives, the
no.
more ready.
Okay. Right. Now there are two things that he explained so far. First thing is he said that you have senses and you surrender to the senses. That means the body mind is taking over you.
Mm.
Right? That means that is the ego.
Yes.
Any change that you want to do, your senses will resist the progression.
Any changes? Yes. Yes.
Right? It could be laziness, it could be anything. Call it anything.
Mm.
But
Mm.
they are controlling you.
Mm.
But over a period of time, as you progress, as you experience, as you learn, right, the I within you will start controlling,
Right. Yes.
right? So
Mm.
that is a given part, right? Now, do animals have the I?
No.
They do, but they do not know how to use it. They
Okay.
don't recognize it
Okay. Okay.
because they have not evolved. See, look at
Mm.
it this way. All of us are made with the same raw material in the same manner, like an ERP, right?
Ah.
All the
Mm.
capabilities are hidden, but
Mm.
only some are enabled based on the amount of money that you have paid.
Ah.
Because all this have started, the forces, etc., which are then becoming the elements, right?
Mm. Mm.
See, what did he talk about the evolution? He said everything was one. First separation, right?
Yeah.
Which was
Right.
spirit matter and matter spirit.
Ah. And then forces.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, they then broke out and then became forces. The forces then came out and became the elements. Okay.
Mm. Ah.
Right? And then the progression moved on that way. Now, what is he taking? He has now taken it to all of them have got the senses.
Mm.
Okay. These senses are the I that is there in man offers a resistance, whereas the I is inactive in the animal.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Ah.
It
I
is
like
like,
it. Mm.
so nature is able to guide the animal, whereas in
Mm.
man, right, unless the I is subdued, he is not going to. So if he lessens his resistance, then the progression will be as smooth as
Easier.
nature wants it.
Right. So my question was living close to the nature. And how do we develop that?
No,
At least.
as you reduce your resistance.
Oh. Okay.
What is
Okay.
as
Okay.
you reduce your resistance, you are moving. Because of the resistance, you are now creating unwanted influences on you. Because of the body mind, you are creating all those. Because of your ego, your hurt, your feelings, you are creating all those scenarios for yourself.
Right.
That is the unwanted influences.
Not only another way is when you move away from the city, okay, you are away from all the sensual pleasures. That is why
Right.
all yogis, they go and sit in the Himalayas or ashramas, to be with the nature. It's easy for them to evolve and less
No,
resistance there.
but then there I would counter it saying that they are afraid of their body mind. They are not controlling the body mind. They are avoiding the
Ah,
situation.
yes, that should be there, but that environment also, it helps them, use it properly.
Yeah, but then they need to develop that ability.
Yeah. Only the thing is they need to have that control of senses even wherever they are. That's what even Ramana Maharshi says. Even though you are away from your home, even run away from home, but as long as if you think about still back home about those things, it doesn't help.
Hmm. True.
Okay, got
Right?
it.
Oh,
Mm.
right. Any other question from anyone? This is very important because for us to understand the next section, this becomes the foundation.
So but I didn't understand this. He is comparing the primitive man, which has further sense, like seeings and all the sense, but still he says he did not see the different shades of the color and all. And finally
No,
he
no, no,
says,
no, no, no. What he is saying is he is slowly analyzing each sense and bringing out the fact that
smell is superior.
smell is superior. If you want, read it once again.
Okay, who has
That will
disciplined
help.
his smell. Okay, okay,
Correct.
got it. Although the primitive man can see and hear farther, and his smell and taste is keener along natural lines, yet he cannot distinguish between colors and shades of color, which the artist sees and appreciates at a glance, nor can he distinguish the difference in tones and harmonize which the musician knows, nor has he. Let's go
Oh,
down.
okay. No, no, no. Here, what he is saying is the development
Ah,
of the eye.
yes.
The
Yeah,
development of the eye. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
first one.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry about
Yeah.
misleading. Yeah.
Now, as one, the keenness of taste which the epicure has cultivated, or the expert taste of teas developed, nor is he able to detect the difference and qualities of odor which one can who has disciplined his sense of smell. Yes, that means
So if he
eventually
has disciplined his sense of smell, all these becomes subdued.
who has disciplined his sense of smell. Got it. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Right. That's a very
Yeah.
interesting this one. Let us see.
That means his vision of perception also increases. He
Correct.
sees more shades of color and all.
Now I am able to think these seven senses is what, right?
Mhm.
The traditional Chinese medicine, the traditional Chinese medicine uses for healing the body. See this,
Oh, okay. Yeah, correct.
right? So there is still something else missing. I don't know which one it is. Earth, fire, water.
Hmm.
This
Fire,
is,
metal.
no, this is six. I think the
Six.
balance of that is the seventh, is it? I don't know what
I
it
think
is.
center one probably is balanced one. The
That is
half
the
and
yin
half.
and yang.
Yin and yang. Yeah, the balanced one.
Correct. So we will get to that, but earth, fire, water,
There are
why
only six.
again? There are only
Six.
six. Now we need to see what they are. Then probably air is missing in this, right? Air is missing.
Yeah, correct. There is no air. Yes, correct.
I think it
And,
could be a misprint also.
yeah.
Air
Okay.
is missing. What else is missing? Akash is
Yeah.
missing. Space
I
and
don't know
the information.
why he puts
Oh, no,
metal
no,
and
no.
wood.
These are becoming the
Hmm.
organs of the body.
Oh, I see.
See, then these are becoming the organs of the body.
I never
Okay.
heard about food.
No, this is what Chinese medicine uses.
Okay.
But they use all the seven.
Seven colors.
Yeah.
The
So let us see what it is. Man is developing a sixth
man is
sense.
developing a sense which the animals have not. This is the
Hmm.
personality or moral sense. The moral sense begins to awaken in primitive man and becomes a more dominant factor as man improves in breeding and education. The element corresponding to this sense cannot be perceived by man, though it is present, but the force which he uses through the sense of personality and morality is thought, is the thought, and it is through thought that there awakens within the senses of man his real I, which is the seventh sense, the sense of individuality, of understanding, and of knowledge.
So that is what we are calling consciousness.
Yes. The real, like who he is,
The
the real,
awareness,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. The past history of our universe, of the involution of the elements of nature and of all animal life, is enacted in the formation of a human body. Okay. The past history of our universe, of the involution of the elements of nature and of all animal life is reenacted in the formation of a human body. The involution of the elements ends at birth and the evolution of the senses begins. Oh, wow. The involution of the elements ends and at birth, and the
So
evolution begins.
now,
So,
for a moment, go back to the AIA,
yeah, correct.
right?
So it's,
So
yeah.
that is the switchover.
So it is until that time, it is units, the different units, nature units. And
Correct.
at the birth, when it crosses that bridge of birth, it becomes the human intelligence.
Correct.
Intelligence units.
The gradual development.
Yeah. The involution of the elements ends at birth and the evolution of the senses begins. The gradual development of the senses in the past races can be best studied by careful observation of the human being from birth to the complete unfoldment as a man. The gradual development of the senses in the past races can be best studied by careful observation of the human being from birth to the complete unfoldment as a man. But a still better and surer method of learning how the senses are developed is to revert to the time of our own infancy and watch the gradual evolution of our senses and the manner in which we made use of them. So a baby, so he's saying the examples. A baby is a wonderful object. Of all living creatures, it is the most helpless. All the powers of the earth are summoned to assist in the fabrication of the little body. It is verily a Noah's ark in which in which is contained the pates of all forms of life and everything. The beasts, birds, fishes, reptiles, and the seeds of all life are held in that we universe. So in that baby, he's saying all these are there.
Yes.
Oh my God. But unlike the other animal creation, a baby needs constant care and protection for many years as it cannot provide for nor help itself. The little creature is born into the world without the use of its senses, but with the faculty of making itself heard on arrival and demanding attention.
Okay. It is only by sound. Okay. Let us read further.
These birds, fishes, reptiles, and the seeds of all life are held in that we universe, the body of the baby.
That is one thing, and it is not being born using its senses.
So later they
See,
develop.
when you crack the egg open and all that to reveal a bird inside, right?
Mm.
It is using its senses before being born.
Immediately starts walking
Yeah,
after
all
revealing.
that. Whereas this creature is coming in
Yeah.
without the use of any senses.
And
That is the
also,
evolution. Involution to
also,
evolution. Yeah.
also
Mm.
the other thing is the fetus inside during the whole process of the growth. If you look at the animal kingdom, the phyla, right? So from the protozoa to you have all those evolutions, right? The starfish. I mean, I'm not able to tell the whole the phyla, but so you can see from no backbone, it is developing backbone. So you're going through the stages of evolution of how the life itself began from a
Correct.
protozoa to a multicellular organism to a human
Yes.
being.
Correct.
That also
Yes.
it symbolizes even that too,
Yes, it does. It does.
because we first are a zygote, right? A single cell, and then you divide, and then you become a ball of cells, and then you are like that reptile with lung. With
From
you
there
are
starts your endoderm, ectoderm, mesoderm, and all
yeah,
that. Yeah.
right. Yes, fishes, and then reptiles, and then
We progressed from all these. So because we have all these qualities within us.
Okay, that
Okay.
little creature is born into the world without the use of his senses, but with the
The faculty
faculty of making itself heard
on
on
arrival and
arrival and demanding attention. So
crying.
that is nothing but the sense of sound.
Sound. Yes.
Okay, let us go further.
At birth, the infant is not in possession of any of its senses. It can neither see, nor hear, nor taste, nor smell, nor feel. It has to learn the use of each of these senses and does it gradually. That's why doctors say, pediatricians say, until 3 months, babies cannot sit properly.
They
Only
cannot,
after
in
3
fact, they
months.
can't even focus. They can't focus.
But they say the mother smell, they can smell, it seems.
Yeah.
Mother's touch smell.
Because
So
that
all
is their home. See, that is because that is their home. That is where they have arrived from.
Yeah. Yes. All infants do not learn the use of their senses in the same order. Oh, with some hearing comes first, with others seeing first. Generally, however, the infant is only conscious as in an indistinct dream. Oh, generally, however, the infant is only conscious as in an indistinct dream. Ante somewhat, in like a dream world or not.
No, it is
Each of it,
indistinct dream. It is not distinct. It is not clear.
it
It
is
is
not
more
clear.
like it is completely confused. Yeah.
Yeah. Each of its senses is opened as by a shock produced by the seeing or hearing for the first time, which is brought about by its mother or someone present. Objects are blurred to the infant eye, and it can in no manner see anything distinctly. Let's go down one more page. The voice The voice
The voice.
of mother is only heard as a buzzing or the other noise which excites its organs of hearing. It is unable to distinguish odors and cannot taste. Oh, only by voice it can recognize first. It is unable to distinguish odors and cannot taste. Nourishment taken is from the prompting of the cells of the body, which are simply mouths and stomachs, and it cannot feel with any exactness nor locate any part of its body. So basically, it doesn't have any taste. That's why
Nothing.
no sugar.
Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. At first, It cannot close its hands on any object and attempts to feed itself with its fist. That it cannot see will be observed by its inability to focus its eyes on any given object. The mother has to teach it to see and hear as she teaches it to take nourishment. By repeated words and gestures, she attempts to attract its attention. With patience, the mother looks into its wobbling eyes for a glance of recognition, and weeks or months pass before her heart is gladdened by an intelligent smile. When it is first able to detect sound, it moves its little limbs rapidly, but is unable to locate the sound. Usually, bright object is moved before its eyes or its attention is attracted to some object. Okay.
Usually with the location of the sound comes the sense of sight.
Yeah. Usually with the location of the sound comes the sense of sight. When some bright object is moved before its eyes or its attention is attracted to some object. That's why in the crib, they put different colors and the sounds of toys
Yeah.
for the attention. The careful observer who has followed the development of any infant cannot fail to perceive by its actions when either of these senses is used properly. Okay. The careful observer who has followed the development of any infant cannot fail to perceive by its actions when either of these senses is used properly. If the tone used in speaking to it is mild and pleasant, it will smile. If harsh and angry, it will scream with fear. The time when it first sees an object may be recognized by the corresponding look of recognition which the object excites. At this time, the eyes will be seen to focus properly. At other times, than when it sees the eyes are out of focus. We can test the
I
child
think we
as
should
to
read this again. We should read this again from usually.
Okay. Usually with the location of the sound comes the sense of sight. Okay. With the location of the sound comes the sense of sight. When some bright object is moved before its eyes or its attention is attracted to some object. See, that's why the bright colors and sounds, they attract the infant.
Yeah, that is the reason. Right.
Yeah. The careful observer who has followed the development of any infant cannot fail to perceive by its actions when either of these senses is used properly. That means sound and sight. If the tone used in speaking to it is mild and pleasant, it will smile. So he knows if it is harsh and angry, he will scream with fear. The time when it first sees an object may be recognized by the corresponding look of recognition which the object excites. At this time, the eyes will be seen to focus properly. At other times, than when it sees the eyes are out of focus. Okay. So only when it excites an object for him, he focuses. Otherwise, he does not. We can test the child as to whether it sees.
Only when he is able to recognize, he will focus.
Yeah, recognition, yes. Yes, look or recognition which the object excites.
Correct.
Okay. At this time, the eyes will be seen to focus properly. At other times, then when it sees the eyes are out of focus.
See, this happens with us also. When we can't see something properly, that's exactly what we do. Till we have understood what it is, we will bend, we will narrow our eyes, we do all that. You are talking in mute, Ratna.
I'm just reading, Andy. I'm just reading.
Okay.
Okay. we can test a child as to whether it sees and hears with one of the favorite toys, a rattle. If we shake the rattle and the child hears it but does not see, it will stretch out its hands in any direction and kick violently, which may or may not be in the direction of the rattle. This depends on its ability to locate the sound. If it sees the rattle, it will at once focus its eyes on the rattle and reach for it. That it does or does not see, proved by moving the rattle gradually to the eyes and withdrawing it again. If it does not see, the eyes will present a blank stare. But if it does see, they will change it in their focus according to the nearness or distance to the rattle. So initially, because he could not see, he just stares.
Correct.
Later, yes, because of the focus.
So first is the sound,
Sight.
first is the smell.
Yes.
First is the smell, right? That's what he said.
Or sound.
No, sir. Sound. First is sound. Buzzing.
Sound.
Yeah.
Buzzing, yeah, sound.
By a shock produced by seeing it or hearing it for the first time. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
Taste is the next sense developed. So it means last one. At first, the infant is unable to show its preference to water or milk or sugar or other food that does not actually irritate or blister the cells of the body. It will take all foods alike, but in time it shows the preference for one over the other by crying for it when the particular food is suddenly withdrawn. Thus, for instance, if a piece of candy is placed in its mouth, it will cry if the candy is removed and will not be consoled by either nipple or milk. But its attention may be removed from its sense of taste by shaking a rattle or dancing some bright objects before its eyes. The sense of smell is detected by the observer by presenting certain odors, the preference for which will be shown by a smile, a frown, or the baby coo. Feeling is developed gradually. Feeling is developed gradually and in proportion to the other senses. But the child has not yet learned the value of distances. It will reach for the moon or a swaying bough of a tree with as much confidence as it will reach for its mother's nose or its father's beard. Oftentimes it will cry because it cannot grasp the moon or some distant object, but gradually it learns the value of distances. It does not, however, so readily learn the use of its organs, for it will try to feed itself with its feet or rattle or any toy. Not until many years have passed will it cease to try to put everything within reach into its mouth. The senses are in early life controlled by the elements as are the animals. But in this early youth, the senses are not actually developed. For though there are prodigies which are exceptions to the ordinary rule, the senses do not really begin to be used with intelligence until the age of puberty. Then begins the real use of the senses. It is then that the moral sense, the sense of personality begins, and all the senses take on a different meaning at this stage in their development. So that means, according to him, the real intelligence starts at puberty.
Yeah.
But isn't it changed a lot in 100 years?
No, it has changed. But what he's saying is the sense of personality begins.
Yeah.
It is see, only then do you identify yourself as an individual, right?
Mature person, yeah.
Correct.
Yes. as there are forces which operate through their vehicles, the elements, so also are their principles which are connected with and act through the senses and their organs. So at that state, they're connected with the nature element and also their principles which are connected with and act through the senses and their organs. In the
Right.
beginning, the first element was fire. The first force manifesting was light, which operated through its vehicle and element fire. So at that state, the fire was the first to manifest. In the beginning of man, the light as a fire in the universe is mind, which though in its beginning is in the most primitive form, contains in itself the germs of all things which are to be developed and also sets the limit to its development. Its sense is sight and its organ is eye, which is also its symbol.
Okay, now reread this one slowly.
As there are forces which operate through their vehicles, the elements, so also are their principles which are connected with and act through the senses and their organs.
So you have forces, vehicles, elements. Forces, vehicles, elements. There
I
are
think it's forces
principles.
and elements. Forces
No, no.
that operate.
Forces operate through the vehicles.
So the
Correct.
elements are the vehicles, right? Through their
Yes,
vehicles,
forces
comma,
and
the
elements. You are right. You are right. So you have forces, you have elements, you have principles and connections, right? Principles and senses. No. You have principles and connections
principles.
and
Through the
senses and organs. That
The
is how the
principles
setting is, right?
through the senses.
Correct. So you have forces, you have elements. Then let us change the color to something else. You have principles and connections.
Connected through
Right?
the senses.
The connections are the senses. And the
Yeah, through the
action
one
is
second. No,
the
I'm making a
organs.
mistake. One sec. You have principles. You have principles and actions.
See.
You have principles and actions, right?
Yeah.
Senses and organs. Okay. No,
I'm understanding it this way, Chandragaru. Principles, they are connected and they are acting, right? So they are connected through
correct.
the
No,
senses
no.
and act
So
through the
principles
organs.
and actions. See, principles and actions is one set.
Yes.
Okay.
So they are senses and organs, right? Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Forces and
basically,
elements.
yeah, principles and actions, they are acting through senses. They are connecting through the senses, through their organs.
Through organs, acting through the organs. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's saying that's why in the beginning it was fire element, which is connected to our eye organ.
So in the beginning, the first element was fire. Correct. That is where we started from.
Yes.
The first force manifesting was light.
Yes. Radiant, like there from the top.
Correct. Which operated through its vehicle and element. Vehicle and element, actually. Okay. Very good. That is fire. In the beginnings of man, the light as a fire in the universe is mind. Fire is the mind.
The reason
Wow.
is fire is the primitive, most subtle and highest form of unit.
Correct.
That is why it is
Though in its beginning is in the most primitive form. Correct. Okay.
So it's like when it is baby.
Yes.
Okay.
contains in itself the germs of all things which are to be developed and also sets the limit to its development. Okay. Its sense is sight, and its organ is the eye, which is also its symbol. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Then comes.
Let's go.
Ah.
Let's go further. Yeah. Then comes the operation of the force, electricity, through its element, the air. In man, the corresponding principle is life, prana, with its corresponding sense of hearing and the ear as its organ. So next comes the air, the breath, prana, and also with its corresponding hearing. The force of water acts through its element water and has its corresponding the principle of form, astral body, as Linga Sharira, with its sense that of taste and its organ, the tongue. So basically, even the elemental force, first the radiant form, the fire, and then the air, and then the water, the earth. So this is how it is also descending.
Correct.
The force of magnetism operates through the element earth and has its corresponding principle and sense in man, the sex, physical body, sthula sharira, and smelling with the nose as its organ. The final one is the smell, the earth is connected to the earth. So each one is connected to that particular element.
Go back to that Satyaji's lecture. He says man is not attracted by looks, man is attracted by smell.
Yeah, he says
He
smell.
explains that, right? Yeah. This
The
is
force
one more
of
proof that something else is guiding us. This group is guided by something else. All related topics only are coming into our radar. Yeah.
Yes, and connected to unified.
Exactly.
It's giving more elevated look towards unified.
Yeah.
Like what else
Yeah.
is there?
Correct.
It's not just that, it's something more we need to know.
Where
Sir,
is
one
thinking
minute.
and destiny, and where is this topic we are discussing? See the relevance. Huh?
Yeah. Sir, like now it's all about when the babies form, which elemental force is like descending and which is taking its shape in the
Correct.
form. That is what is happening. Okay.
How these senses are getting developed.
In the
Because
human.
the actual topic that we are to cover, right,
Mm.
is the eternal order of progression, the government of the world.
Okay.
So I read the first sentence and said, this people will not be able to immediately follow. Okay. And I had already gone through some of the content of Percival's website. And then I remembered these are all senses. So let us pick up the topic of sense. That is how we are reading this instead of the other part of the lesson. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
According to him, when we are born, we don't have any sense perception. So how
No,
eventually...
that is because from involution we are moving to evolution.
Yes. So all these, we formed into the body inside the mother, involuted.
Correct.
And then after the birth, evolution happens.
Correct.
The force of sound acts through its vehicle ether. Okay, sound. Okay. In man, the corresponding principle is desire, kama, and its sense feeling.
Now, this is very interesting because ether is the pattern which is driving us.
Yes.
Everything in energy form is a pattern.
Yes.
Right. Now, You take the three, when we say soul decoded, the soul contract decoded, he is talking about karma, talent, goal,
Yes.
right? As
Yes.
the three pillars of the triangle. Now read
Yes.
this again. The force of sound, yeah, ether.
The force of sound acts through its vehicle ether. In man, the corresponding principle is desire, kama, and its sense feeling, with the skin and lips as its organs.
Hmm.
So in man, the corresponding principle is desire and its sense is feeling with the skin and lips as its organs. These five senses are common to animal and man alike, but in varying degree. Okay.
Hmm.
The sixth
Hmm.
sense is the sense which differentiates the animal from the human. The sense begins, whether in child or man, with the sense of I amness. In the child, it is shown the child becomes what is called self-conscious. The natural child, like the natural animal or natural man, is quite unreserved in its manners and unafraid and confident in its behavior. As soon as it becomes aware of itself, however, it loses that natural response to the senses, to their outer elements, and feels restrained by its feelings of I-ness.
So this becomes the identity.
Yes,
Hmm.
that possessiveness.
Yes.
In looking back over the past, and the adult does not remember the many pangs and jars which the presence of I has caused to his sensations. The more aware of the I is of itself, the more pain it will cause to the sensitive organization. This is particularly expressed by the boy or girl just reaching their adolescence. Then the sixth sense, the moral or sense of personality, is evinced because the I is then more positively connected with the body than it had been before. What is this evinced?
Evince
Then the
means
sixth
shows,
shows that, okay,
shows,
okay,
demonstrates. Yeah.
evidence. Okay. Then the sixth sense, the moral or sense of personality, is evinced because the I is then more positively connected with the body than it had been before. It is at this point that the principle of thought acts through its sense, the moral sense or personality. So at that stage, it acts through the principle of thought acts through its sense, the moral sense of personality. In this sense, personality is merely the reflection of I.
Also note one thing here, when he says moral sense or personality, right? Here, the rightness and reason will play a role.
Oh, okay. At
Okay.
thinking level.
Now, see, this is also taking us to what we read in Noetic Destiny. Now you understand why he had to repeat everything throughout the book. He had to establish proper connection between all these entities. Yeah.
So that means at this state, the thinking process happens. He connects to the thinking, right, and reasoning.
Exactly.
In this sense, the personality is merely the reflection of the I, the mask of the I, the false ego. The I, the individuality, or the perfected principle of mind corresponding to the initial effort of mind to express itself through its first sense, that of sight, with the corresponding force of light and its element fire. That means he is expressing his individuality, that ego self, through the sense of eyes, the sight.
Correct.
The senses are represented in the zodiac. If a diameter be drawn from the signs Cancer to Capricorn, the eyes in the head are on the horizontal line in the zodiac, which divide the sphere into an upper and lower portion. So that is a manifest like, yeah. The
No,
upper part
the
of the
zodiac diagram, I have already downloaded all the zodiac articles. There are about 11 or 12 of them.
yeah. The upper
The
part
upper
of the
part of the.
zodiac or head is the unmanifested, while the lower half of the zodiac or head is the manifested and manifesting half. So the lower one is manifested, the upper one is unmanifested. In this lower manifesting half, there are 7 openings indicating 7 centers, but through which at present only 5 senses are operating. So 5 senses operate.
Okay.
The principles enumerated by me and
Madam.
Oh, Madam Cochin Blavatsky. Okay, the principles enumerated by Madam Blavatsky in Theosophical teachings are the physical body, Stula Sharira, the astral body, Linga Sharira, the life principle, Prana, the principle of desire, Kama, the mind, Manas. Oh, these are all the 7 and the principles.
These
So
are the
only
5, right? There are 5 here.
1, 2, yeah. 1, 2, 3,
1,
4, 5,
2,
7.
3,
7 అనుకుంటా.
4,
1, 2,
5. Only 5.
yeah, 5. Correct. 5.
Okay. How
So
they
he
become
said,
6, he will tell you.
here he says only 5 are operating, isn't it? Through which at present only 5 senses operate. The principle of mind, Manas, is by Madam Blavatsky said to be the individualizing principle, which is the only one of those mentioned by her, which is eternal. The mind. And the only undying principle which manifests itself in man. What is this? Let me again. Blavatsky said to be the
This is the individual self which
personality.
doesn't
Okay.
end. That is the soul.
Yeah. Maintains itself. Yeah. Mentioned by her, which is eternal and the only undying principle which manifests itself in man. The higher principles are not yet manifest and therefore are represented in the upper half of the zodiac, but in as much as the principle of mind is that which is manifest in the universe and man, the signs of zodiac show the manner in which the principle is developed through contact with the lower transitory principles in the natural order from involution to evolution. Okay, so basically the lower
higher
half,
principles will only develop in the process of involution to evolution. That's what it means, correct? Therefore, are represented in the upper half of the zodiac. But in as much as the principle of mind is that which is manifest in the universe and man. Okay. The signs of the zodiac show the manner in which this principle is. Yeah, that's what it means. In the evolution, this has to evolve.
Upper half is unmanifested.
Correct.
So eventually how it manifests is, I think he's going to describe. Thus, for instance, the first breath of mind, Cancer, fructifies the germ of life. Leo, which gradually develops into form, Virgo, and which form is determined by its sex and birth. Libra. Finally, that is the Libra on Earth, the body.
No, it's not yet over.
Its sex is expressed by the development of the principle of desire, Scorpio. It desires Scorpio. Here ends the solely animal physical man. Okay, so that is the end of the physical man.
See, what has he done? He has taken the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So thus, for instance, the first breath of mind is Cancer.
Germ of life gradually develops into
a life. Develops into a form, and which is which form is determined by its sex, which is Libra. Okay.
Okay. And then it is expressed as the Scorpio, desire, Scorpio.
Correct. So this here, what has happened? The breath of life, which is the mind, starts the breath, the first breath of mind, Cancer. So he is taking all the three, I think the four cardinal points he is expressing here.
Yeah, I don't have the, otherwise in the other room it is there. I also printed this.
Okay.
Here ends the soul, animal, physical man. So this is the.
Okay, now let us go to the inner. This is the end of the physical man.
Yes, that is the physical part of the man. But there are the inner senses such as clairvoyance and clairaudience, which correspond to seeing and hearing. These with the faculties of the mind have their organs and centers of action in the upper half of the head. The mind and its faculties must be disciplined and developed before the higher principles, that is Atma and Buddhi, can become active.
So those are the seven.
These two, okay. Clairvoyance and clairaudience, those
correct.
two.
So what is he talking about? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, right? Manomaya kosha splits into two. Manomaya kosha, she has called it lower manas and upper manas. The mental body and the causal body.
Yes.
Upper manas is the causal body.
Yes. Next week.
That is the karmic shari. Desire is in the lower end, karmic shari. Okay. And then beyond that, he has got the these two, which is the Atma and Buddhi.
But he's saying, okay, desire kama. So you're saying the manas.
No, kama is the astral body.
The lower manas is the desire.
No, kama.
Okay, kama is the astral body.
Astral body. Right. Then you have got the mental body and then the causal body. Lower manas and upper manas.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
And then you are talking about the spiritual, which is Buddha, Atma and Buddhi.
That is what they call Anandamaya, in other Telugu terms.
Telugu terms, Okay, very similar. Yes. Let us see.
So eventually, they get clairvoyance and clairaudience. When these are active, Atma and Buddhi, then they become.
Correct.
The human beings, the sixth sense of personality and morality.
Human begins. Human begins, not beings.
Correct. The human begins the sixth sense of personality and morality, which either guides or is guided by the thought Sagittary. The human begins the sixth sense of personality and morality when the either guides or guided by the thought Sagittarius. As the thought becomes strictly moral and the senses are used in their proper functions and put to right uses, the thought as personality and a reflection of the I comes in line with its real I, the individuality or mind, which is the completing of the senses by calling into action the higher power of the mind. So this is how, when he is in the proper senses, when he uses strictly moral, when he uses the senses properly, then that alignment of the individual I and higher I happens.
Yes.
I comes in line with its real I, the individuality or mind, which is the completing of the senses by calling into action the higher power of the mind. So the organ through which the personality is reflected and on which the moral sense dawns is in this classification represented by the pituitary body. So the organ through which the personality is reflected and on which the moral sense dawn is in this clarification represented by the pituitary body. That means it starts activating at
Yes,
that phase, at that state.
correct.
The organ representing individuality, Capricorn, is the pineal gland. Okay. The other one is the pituitary, the Sagittarius. Here he is saying its zodiac sign is the Capricorn, pineal gland. As an organ, the pituitary body is placed behind and midway between the eyes. Okay, that is the third eye, pituitary. The pineal gland is slightly behind and above them. The eyes symbolizes these two organs which lie behind them. Oh, normally the pineal is the third eye, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
The pituitary is behind.
Hmm.
These senses of ours, while acting through the centers or organs in the head, are not mere accidents or chance. Evolution by environment. They are both the receiving and the operating stations from which the thinker, man, may receive instruction and control or direct the forces and elements of nature. So he is saying it is not by accident or chance it happens. It is in a process of evolution. And it receives the instruction and control or direct forces and elements of nature also helps through this process. Neither is it to be supposed that the sign of the zodiac or arbitrary naming of certain constellations in the heavens. Or neither is it to be supposed that the signs of the zodiac are the arbitrary naming of certain constellations in the heavens. So what does he mean? That means just like that, it didn't happen. The zodiac signs,
It
they're
didn't
not,
happen.
they didn't
It
name.
has got a reason behind it. It is actually an evolution and a construct of the connections and all that.
Okay. Constellations in
He is
the
explaining further, I think.
The constellations in the heavens are symbols as are our own planets. The signs of the zodiac represent so many great classes or orders. At the end of each class or order is an
At the head.
at the I'm sorry. At the head of each class, at the head of each class or order is an intelligence too sacred to make more than mention of to us. At the head of each class or order is an intelligence too sacred to make more than mention of to us. What is
It
this?
can only be mentioned. It can only be mentioned to you. It cannot be given you in complete detail. That's what it means.
Okay. From each such great intelligence, there gradually proceed in orderly procession all the forces and elements. So the top intelligence, everything, force, procession, orderly procession, forces of elements, which makes up man's body. And each such has its correspondence in the body of man as stated. The senses are distinct.
I think, ma'am, we will stop here. We will stop here. Because it's 8:30 now here. So which means it should be 10 for Kirti and others.
Yeah, correct.
We will stop here, but I think before we continue with the other, even Noetic Destiny, we will complete this.
We have only 2 more pages and we can finish later. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that's what. One more class we will be able to do it.
Yeah, actually 6 pages we completed. So we have 3 more, 7. Yeah.
But it makes a lot of sense for us to, before we understand the governance and all that, as well as the re-existence. I'm really amazed, ma'am, whoever is guiding, right?
Sir,
That is re-exist.
Sorry.
Yeah, Kirti.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go
Actually, I
ahead.
lost in between. We were talking about baby, and the first mind is what?
That is why this one will be repeated. Because it's very important for understanding be it the Saturday morning, be it the Saturday evening.
Mm-hmm. So here
Right.
the zodiac sign came in picture. Now he's
Correct.
explaining the one we know about zodiac sign is not what real it is. It is what this is what how the zodiacs are connected to us
Correct.
is what it is saying here. So each
Yes.
individual
No, the
part of
zodiac that is there as a constellation of the planets in the universe is as it exists within us. It
okay.
has not happened by accident.
Yeah.
That is what he is explaining.
Okay. But still, like I'm unable to
No,
grasp
this needs,
this concept.
we will have to see. He is talking about from whatever has been seen. He is looking at your 7 bodies.
Right. Mm.
Okay. Actually, you have got what 7 planets, and 2 of them are whatever he calls it, satellites or whatever it is, the Rahu and Ketu.
Okay. Mm.
Okay. So that is how it becomes 9, and then there are 12 houses, the 12 stages that it progresses. He is building that theme and how it exists in our physical body.
Okay. Mm.
Okay. Those signs and symbols are not accidents.
Mm.
There is a language behind them, is what he is trying to tell us.
Okay. So we're going
He
to
has
learn
not
more
used the
about
word language. Yeah, we are going to, because there is a complete chapter on zodiac.
Okay.
I
So
was
just
in the
relating. Then he'll go depth into this later on.
Yes.
not
Okay.
not
Okay. Then I'm okay for whatever has
No.
been said.
His zodiac is about 12 chapters.
Oh, wow.
Chandra Garu, I think Kirti must have joined a bit late. So Kirti, Chandra Garu was referring to a document today, which coincided or connected with the chapter that we were doing yesterday. It's about the senses. To understand it better, we read this document so that when we go back to Thinking in Destiny, we'll be able to
That is
connect the dots.
one.
Oh,
Ratna,
this is not
that
Thinking
is,
and Destiny.
No, this is
Oh,
This
okay.
is by the
Is it?
same author, right? Today we were supposed to do this eternal order of progression,
Okay. To
the
understand
government of
this.
the world. But then when I started
Okay.
reading this, some advancements made by units in the perfect body are the unit of sense of smell, that is its active aspect. Somebody will ask me, what does this mean? I should be able to answer, right? They will ask me to explain this.
To
Now,
relate to
I
this,
also did
you
not
chose.
understand it. Correct. So then I said, he is talking about sense here. So let me pick up sense. So unless we understand this, the remaining will not be very clear to
Got it,
us.
sir. Now I understood.
See, I have this
Now
crazy
I got
habit.
the
If we
picture.
come to a
Sir.
point where we are not going to understand, some other related topic will come so that we are able to understand. That is why I am saying I
That is
have some
guidance, sir.
peculiar.
Your higher
Somebody is
self is
guiding me
guiding
like
so
that.
beautifully.
I know.
And here also he says how the let's go a little bit
Above or below?
how the taste one by one it is
That is
advanced.
yeah. So he is explaining that. That is why I think, ma'am, even at the cost of time,
Sir has some
we should
internet
repeat this
issue.
chapter.
Sir, you are
Oh, yes.
breaking. We can't hear you well.
Frozen. I think his screen is frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, his screen is frozen.
Still?
Yeah, till now, like I was able to follow at some extent. After that, it was going beyond. I was here. A lot of distraction is there at home, but still, I was
Actually,
not able to understand.
the zodiac explanation also. Two It's very confusing and so much information. And also, he gives the relation between our body and the constellation, and at the same time, the relation between the body and the elements, and also the zodiac and the elements.
Mm.
So, so many corresponding, like a
Yeah.
connection.
Mm.
Am I
He
back
tells so
or am I
many.
still
There are,
there?
like he said, like 6 to 12, I think 12 sections or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, without this background, maybe everything would be confusing.
That is why I think the universe has said stop. Am I now audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But still your
So-
screen is,
No, I've removed that sharing.
yeah.
If you want me to share again, I will share. That's not a problem.
No, it's fine, sir. Yeah.
Fine.
No, we are not reading anymore, I think, right?
No, we are not. Because
Then, yeah.
understanding this becomes critical for the morning session or the evening session, both now.
Mm.
And also, one thing I came to know, when he keeps saying passive, that means unmanifested and primitive and more powerful unit.
Yeah.
He keeps using passive, active, passive. Initially, I was saying, what is this?
That's what he says. It refers to the desire and feeling, right? Those two
Correct.
terms.
Yeah, manifested,
Yes.
unmanifested, that
And
way.
In not only that, even in the elements also, first the fire element starts, okay, and it has only one at that, it doesn't have any duality. When it mixes with the air, then it becomes, he says, passive active, okay, because then eventually they both mix and become water, okay.
Their
Then in the
unbalance, right? The unbalanced term, he's explaining that
Unbalanced,
way.
yes. Yes.
I think Mantra Pushpam also talks about this, right? How at the center of the heart in a lotus exists a fire, and from there, I don't remember the sequence, but it says sky, water, earth. All of these are evolved.
You see, the way he, for first air unit, which is a very pure, primordial, very pure unit, and it doesn't have any separation. Eventually, air, then they starts with passive active, then becomes the water, then water becomes active passive. Then when it becomes earth, when it descends to earth, it becomes inert.
Mm.
So his language, first
Yeah.
time it is so confusing. All this, so what active,
No,
passive.
but his editorial language is much better than the book language.
Yes. Today's language is much straightforward. And also, first time I heard he mentioned about Blavatsky and Theosophical Society.
Maybe even before we continue, we may also have to go through this section of his write-ups, which is democracy is self-government. How big is that? Oh, it's a full book. How big is that book? If it is, then we'll have to do it as a separate session itself. Yeah, it is a large book. Oh, ma'am. This is another book which is ready for us to complete. कहाँ ले जा रहा है? See, here interestingly, I don't know, I'm not sharing, right? Let me share this. The table of content is very, very interesting. See, what is he saying? Concerning democracy, knowledge, justice, and the pursuit of happiness, America for democracy, murder and war, the dictator and the people, the ballot a symbol, the government of the world, capital and labor, money, or the idolatry of the dollar. Part 2, nature, the purpose through nature, the enigma, that is man, concerning education, you are not alone, what is the soul? I think these chapters, part 2's chapters may make sense for us. Creation of thoughts and creation by thoughts.
No, why he kept in American, the government, democracy, and all in first part? Why he's doing this? What is the relation between them?
No, he learned from here. The America has to evolve.
Okay. Now this is one more interesting. It's by him only, sir?
Yeah, all this is what he visualized. None of it is what he has written from this one.
His mind.
Nothing in a, what you call, construct. It is not a constructed book. It is an experienced book.
Oh, wow.
My God. The Wheel of Fortune. Four
Huh?
classes of person. The Wheel of Fortune and 4 classes of persons.
Yeah,
Character.
not only that.
Yeah.
Feeling and desire itself is the two aspects of the immortal doer in the human body is feeling and desire. What are feeling and desire as the two aspects of a doer in the body if they are not of the physical body, and how are they to be distinct? I think we need to read some of these chapters rather than no, this is the 4 classes of people is the races.
Yes.
What Blavatsky talks about, what is character, balancing feeling and desire, immortal and human bodies, hypnotism,
Hypnotism.
right and wrong, democratic and destructionism, democracy, we the people, self-government. Not all chapters may be of use, but we may need some portions to understand some topics. Good. That way we will see what is it. We will select those that are relevant and then do them.
My God. He's an amazing person.
He is truly a master.
My God. I
Yeah,
mean, so
this
much.
much knowledge.
Yeah.
Wow.
He,
Well, I wonder now how his personality was, like how his characteristics was, how he was with everyone, what he would be doing with all his knowledge.
If you go to the library, right, there is one picture of his somewhere. Where is that?
Oh, his picture is there. Okay.
Yeah. After he acquires a bald head and before also. Yeah, this is how he was. Look at the power in his eyes. They are scary.
We can't
no,
see
you're
his
not
screen.
Oh, I removed
sharing.
it. Sorry.
Mm.
No, sorry. I end up sharing the wrong screen at least once in a session. See this? Look at the eyes.
Oh my God. Wow.
And then when you open Thinking and Destiny, his face looks very different.
Then much evolved person.
Oh, yeah. But his eyes, the power in his eyes is still painful to tolerate.
Very like piercing eyes. The way it is.
I think we have the picture in this also.
Yeah. I remember on the Destiny book.
There it is.
Here. Yes,
Just
yes.
eyes.
So he died in 1953?
Yeah.
Wow.
The eyes are really that of a psychic.
Hmm.
He was also a clairvoyant, like
Of course.
Madame Blavatsky.
Yeah, this much knowledge, not sure what
Hmm?
all he has. All his Indriyas, like extra senses, what all has opened for him.
Hey, he is like Seth only. He is actually more advanced than Seth also, it appears.
Uh,
Or maybe like Seth, because Seth also has lived for multiple janmas. Amazing. Patriji, what books he has selected for us, huh?
Oh, by the way, somebody is telling this book in Telugu.
yeah,
Did he
I
mention?
got
But
so curious. Like I wanted to
I also
listen
was
what,
very
how they
curious.
are using all the words, how the translation is going to be. I was very curious. That's the reason I was asking all to join because my Telugu they use is
Then,
totally different, right?
I heard one or two. I don't know what they are trying to communicate. Did you feel differently, Kirti?
It's still in the preface, right, sir? And she was
Yeah.
talking something else
I
also.
heard
She's relating to something else.
Saroja from Bangalore. I think I don't know. I heard from her one session, but it's very preliminary. But that was fine. I mean, but in depth, I never heard.
It says part one. There's a book only come as part one. I don't know till where they translated.
Amazing. I mean, nowadays, AI probably they got
Agree with
the
that for some time. I prefer the way we are doing it in our book club. Because at least
Yes, yes.
we are able to follow what is what.
Yeah. Usually it's all, it will be a perspective only, sir. I was curious how it got translated, this complicated words. Here itself, it needs other books for basis. How they translated this book, I was very curious. That's the reason I wanted to listen what they're saying there, what is going on.